When I said Whoopi Goldberg was the help, let me tell you what I meant by that. When I have a woman that says to me on national TV, I could have schooled you. Well, you wanted to school me on how I was supposed to work for free.
Okay.
Because contractually,
Yes.
when you make a movie, regardless of who you sign the deal with,
Yes.
your job is to go and promote said movie. And I said, if you had called me, I could have schooled you on what was expected.
It shouldn't be that way because somebody did make money,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And now that's the time. Now look at today, things we're always in flux.
You know, I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View.
Why?
Well, a few of the guests just really didn't like where I was coming from, so.
If you happen to be a fan of ABC, then you must know The View. The show has been running for years, but lately it has lost a fat fan base of its black household viewership. Curious to know why.
Turns out that white people can't tell each other apart either. So, it's really about people.
When we talk about racism, we have to understand that it's systemic, though, Whoopi. It is a system.
And there is more. Do you know why the likes of Denzel Washington, Ice Cube, and even Morgan Freeman, after his last appearance on the show, vowed never to return? Better yet, do you care to know why the show has had its host Whoopi Goldberg being called a sellout by the black community? Well, there are more than enough reasons why The View's ratings have been tanking lately, and you will be dead shocked after knowing why.
Let me tell you what I meant by that. When I have a woman that says to me on national TV, I could have schooled you. Well, you wanted to school me on how I was supposed to work for free.
The View premiered in 1997, and today in its 28th season and 6,000 episodes later, it's a staple on daytime television, but that is slowly changing. The concept: a group of women from different backgrounds, races, politics, and opinions get together to discuss the biggest current issues. With so many differing voices, it's no surprise that there have been a lot of tense moments over the years. From co-hosts coming and going to explosive fights on air to some openly racial debates, black actors are now refusing to be part of the almost 3-decade-long show.
I've had some failures in front of a lot of people, but I didn't mind that because you grow from that, you know. I had one review said he was brilliant, and then he opened his mouth.
One respected actor who has openly stood against the show is Oscar winner Denzel Washington, but we'll get to that a bit later. The View's veteran host Whoopi Goldberg seems like an odd case sometimes. Surely an EGOT winner must have all cylinders firing in their brain, right? A person doesn't achieve so much by accident, yet the host of The View just continues to slip up. Barely a year ago, Whoopi called reality TV the downfall of society, citing American Idol specifically.
I've always thought that the beginning of the downfall of society was with, what's the name of that show?
She claimed reality TV opened the door to too much judgment within the public. A hot take, to be sure. As one might have expected, judges Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie weren't just going to take that lying down. And with Richie being the black legend that he is, he definitely felt offended by Whoopi's sentiments and promised never to attend her show. Of all the shows she could have used as an example, American Idol was such a strange choice. Even stranger when considering the revival went on record saying it wouldn't exploit bad auditions for entertainment. Sure, Katy was accused of bullying, but such claims didn't even faze her, and so many jumped to her defense. A source exclusively told Radar Online that Katy, Lionel, and Luke are all boycotting The View. You can't blame someone for literally destroying civilization, which is what Whoopi said, and then expect them to sit down and talk with you. It seems The View might be running out of potential interviewees. Case in point, the source also said, the next time the Idol judges do press, they will appear on all ABC's shows, but not The View. What makes this situation even more bizarre is that The View is also under the Disney umbrella. Has Whoopi never heard of brand synergy? Maybe not. Katy, Luke, and Lionel can't be blamed here. While Whoopi's point might be based on a shred of truth, it really doesn't hold under scrutiny. The idea that reality TV is pure evil just because it displays judgmental behavior is completely asinine. It's like saying that just because humans can do bad things, humanity on the whole is terrible. And while reality TV can be bad for viewers in some sense, it can also be beautiful and inspiring, just like humanity on the whole. Whoopi's claim is the same old song and dance we've heard since the conception of television. It's an old-fashioned notion that we shouldn't have to keep challenging.
Once we gave people the ability to judge other people, control. I think we ran amok with it, and it's gone out of control.
This wasn't the first time Whoopi and her show stood against black actors. While most black actors decided to boycott the Oscars due to lack of inclusion, the Sister Sister star insisted she wasn't going to boycott the event. Back in 2016, the Oscar winner made it clear on The View that she was upset about the Oscars' lack of non-white acting nominees, but the actress and View co-host insisted there are larger issues behind the lack of diversity in Hollywood.
Who are you gonna bump out? Whose performance are you gonna say wasn't as good as? Because that's how you have to look at this.
We have this conversation every year, and it pisses me off, Goldberg said. There's not a lot of support for little companies that make movies that may be more diverse than anything else, but you can't about it just at Oscar time. I am mad, so don't be surprised. Goldberg went on to explain that the Academy members are not deciding whether or not to vote for something based on whether they feel like it's a white movie or a black movie. Instead, she argued that the issue is that there aren't enough movies with diverse casts getting financed and made.
It doesn't work, and it's also a slap in the face of Chris Rock. Chris Rock, and I find that also wrong.
I make movies for a living. Let me tell you what the problem is. It's not that the people doing the nominating are too white. They're not looking at a movie and saying that's very white. I'm not going to nominate that black movie. The problem is, people who can help to make movies that have blacks and Latinos and women and all that money doesn't come to you because the idea is that there's no place for black movies. Goldberg said in an exchange with guest panelist Sunny Hostin that grew increasingly heated. If there's more than 2 black people in a movie, I'm telling you. There has never been, in the history of movies, a plethora of black movies made because people believe we don't want to see movies with black people in them. So until you start making movies like The Avengers, where you see more than 70 white folks saving the earth, and I am mad about this, you know why? Because I would like to be one of those people saving the earth, but they're not coming to me.
You want to boycott something? Don't go see the movies that don't have your representation.
I agree. I agree. That is true.
She predicted that the Oscars would continue to have a diversity problem until there are more movies made with people of color, and she urged people to make a stink all year, not just once a year but all year. She also said she didn't think it was right to boycott the Oscars, with Chris Rock hosting the show, and she wouldn't be doing so, something that black actors saw as a betrayal, given that Goldberg is one of the pioneers most black actors look up to. Boycotting doesn't work, and it's also a slap in the face to Chris Rock. I find that also wrong, so I'm not going to boycott, but I'm going to continue to be as I have all year round, because I'm tired of seeing movies where no one is represented except a bit of the population. Goldberg said. She used her own Oscar win as an example. I won once, recalled Goldberg, who received the Best Supporting Actress Oscar in 1991 for her role in Ghost. So it can't be that racist. Goldberg is one of 12 stars to ever accomplish EGOT status, winning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award, a term coined by actor Philip Michael Thomas and made famous by Tracy Jordan in Tina Fey's NBC comedy 30 Rock. The Color Purple actress first revealed her thoughts about the Oscars boycott following Jada Pinkett Smith's announcement to not attend the 2016 ceremony. On The View, the actress said the decision to boycott was a slap in the face to host Chris Rock. That year, many members of the film community decided to boycott because of the lack of diversity among nominees, a fact host Chris Rock made light of throughout the ceremony. For the second year in a row, not a single non-white actor was nominated for an award, even though 2015 saw standout performances from the likes of Idris Elba in Beasts of No Nation, Benicio del Toro in Sicario, and Michael B. Jordan in Creed.
What are you doing here? Who is responsible for this thing? Now, what are they calling you?
One of the first people to announce they would not be attending that award show was actress Jada Pinkett Smith, who said in a video posted to Facebook, "Today is Martin Luther King's birthday, and I can't help but ask the question, is it time that people of color recognize how much power and influence we have amassed, that we no longer need to ask to be invited anywhere?"
Begging for acknowledgement or even asking diminishes dignity.
She added, "Begging for acknowledgement or even asking diminishes dignity and diminishes power. And we are a dignified people and we are powerful. So let's let the Academy do them with all grace and love. And let's do us differently."
Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's. I wasn't invited.
In his opening monologue, Rock poked fun at the actress, saying, "Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's. I wasn't invited." Well, that joke didn't age so well. given what Jada would later reveal in her controversial memoir. Following his wife's announcement, concussion actor Will Smith said he would not attend the ceremony. "It would be awkward to show up with Charlize Theron," he said in an interview. "We've discussed it. We're part of this community. But at this current time, we're uncomfortable to stand there and say this is okay." On the same day Jada announced she would be boycotting the ceremony, film director Spike Lee also announced he would be boycotting, posting to Instagram, "How is it possible for the second consecutive year all 20 contenders under the actor category are white? 40 white actors in 2 years and no flava at all." Quoting Martin Luther King, he wrote, "There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him he's right." Musicians weren't left behind either. British singer Anoni announced she would also not be attending the ceremony, although she was nominated for the Best Song award. The reason? Unlike Sam Smith and Lady Gaga, she wasn't invited to perform at the ceremony. Notably, Anoni was the first ever transgender performer to be nominated for an award. She wrote online, "Everyone told me that I still ought to attend, that a walk down the red carpet would still be good for my career. Last night I tried to force myself to get on the plane to fly to LA for all the nominee events, but the feelings of embarrassment and anger knocked me back. There I was, feeling a sting of shame that reminded me of America's earliest affirmations of my inadequacy as a trans person. I turned around and went back home." So while all these black celebrities and more tried to fight for their rights, Whoopi used her The View platform to dismiss them, automatically casting a bad relationship with each and every black actor who thought the Academy did wrong by ignoring black talent.
If we are indeed committed to inclusion and diversity, and we actually do see our people of color as the same as us, as our counterparts.
Well, there are more and more black actors you won't see on The View ever. One of them, Viola Davis. Davis has never been one to hold back when discussing social issues such as race, class, and gender. She spoke about the lack of opportunities for actors of color when she made history in 2015 by becoming the first African American to win an Emmy for Best Actress in a Drama. Asked about the lack of diversity among the 2016 Oscar nominees, Davis said the issue went beyond the Academy Awards. "The problem is not with the Oscars. The problem is with the Hollywood movie-making system," Davis said. "How many black films are being produced every year? How are they being distributed? The films that are being made, are the big-time producers thinking outside of the box in terms of how to cast the role? Can you cast a black woman in that role? Can you cast a black man in that role? You can change the Academy, but if there are no black films being produced, what is there to vote for?" For his part, Will Smith acknowledged that his failure to earn a nomination for his role in Concussion might have contributed to his wife's decision to boycott the Oscars. But the then twice nominated actor insisted that this was far from the only reason Jada chose to boycott. "Had I been nominated and no other people of color were, she would have made the video anyway," Smith told ABC News. "We'd still be here having this conversation. This is so deeply not about me. This is about children that are going to sit down and they're going to watch this show and they're not going to see themselves represented." Smith said that it felt like the Oscars were heading in the wrong direction, as the Academy was overwhelmingly white and male, and thus didn't reflect the country. "We make movies. It's not that serious except that it plants seeds for dreams," Smith said. "There's a disharmony that is brewing in our country and in our industry that I want no part of. Listen, we need a seat in the room. We don't have a seat in the room, and that's what is most important." Following the backlash in 2016, the Academy did make changes and the 2017 Oscar nominees did include people of color. They have taken steps to add diversity to their board of governors and vowed to include more women and minorities among its voting members. In fact, Will Smith now has his well-deserved Oscar win, even though it came with unforgettable drama as a surplus. Moonlight, with its African-American cast, won Best Picture in 2017, and actor Mahershala Ali won Best Supporting Actor.
It goes to Mahershala Ali.
This is the first Oscar in nomination.
He was also the first Muslim actor to win an Oscar. Viola Davis won Best Supporting Actress for her role in Fences, and Troy Maxson was nominated for the lead role in the same movie. The biggest news at the 2018 Oscars was that Jordan Peele received a Best Director nomination for Get Out. He is only the 5th African American in Academy history to receive this honor. And now, back to Denzel Washington and his good friend Morgan Freeman boycotting The View because of their stand on critical issues such as race. The two black legends have always been open about how they feel black actors are being treated.
Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, "At your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you."
After the infamous Will Smith incident at the 2022 Oscars, Denzel was among the first to come out and support him. "In your biggest wins, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you," he told him backstage. Smith said afterward that he knew that if Denzel forgave his attitude, Hollywood would forgive him too. The Malcolm X star is a moral benchmark in the industry, and not just for black actors, because he doesn't feel that race is the linchpin of his career. "I'm very proud to be black, but black is not all I am." Although he was inevitably compared to Sidney Poitier in his early days, he is aware that he has already surpassed his idol. "He's our Brando. He's Nicholson. He's Olivier," Tom Hanks enthused. Denzel's long list of awards, which includes 2 Oscars, a Tony, 2 Golden Globes, the Cecil B. DeMille Award, the AFI Life Achievement Award, and 2 Emmy nominations, makes it clear that Hanks's words were no exaggeration. The overwhelming confidence with which Denzel handles his career is clear when watching his 2 most recent works, The Tragedy of Macbeth and the 3rd installment of The Equalizer, Antoine Fuqua's adrenaline-fueled saga. The actor can combine Shakespeare and the vigilante Robert McCall, a fan-favorite hero of what has been termed dad movies, and his career remains unblemished. He has achieved an a priori difficult balance between Oscar contenders and action flicks. Perhaps because in his ability to indulge in the most unprejudiced cinema, there is more desire to explore new interpretive territories than to line his pockets. If his desire was mere profit, we would have seen him in the abundant superhero sagas and sequels and prequels to past hits, Hollywood's favorite genre. But he is adamant that he does not want to be part of a cast of familiar faces for the greater glory of the box office. "My career is based on saying no," he has said. He doesn't say no to everything, however. He will be part of the anticipated sequel to Gladiator, in which, according to its director Ridley Scott, he will play a former slave who has become a very powerful man. The movie premieres later this year. Denzel, who according to the New York Times is the greatest actor of the 21st century, could have had a very different trajectory without his mother's intervention. He grew up in Mount Vernon, a suburb of New York. His parents, a preacher and a hairdresser, divorced when he was 14, and the teenage Denzel was left in his mother's care. When she noticed that her son was keeping bad company rather than attending school, she sent him to a military academy, a decision he considered decisive in his career. 2 of those friends did jail time and the other one lost his teeth. That was a few years ago now. "I got him some good teeth, but I haven't seen him lately," he told the Times Magazine in 2018.
Many of you already know the story that Mr. Washington, when asked by Phylicia Rashad to join her in assisting 9 theater students from Howard University who had been accepted to a summer acting program at the British Academy of Dramatic Acting in Oxford, he gracefully and privately agreed to contribute.
Today, the legendary screen star has an elementary school in New York named after him and has helped boost the careers of others who were in a similar situation, such as Black Panther's mourned star Chadwick Boseman. In the 1990s, a group of young black kids, including the future Marvel star, were trying to get into a prestigious Oxford summer program, and the Cosby Show actress Phylicia Rashad lobbied for them. "She essentially got some celebrity friends to pay for us to go," Boseman revealed to Rolling Stone. Among those actors was Denzel, who was unaware of it until Boseman was already a star. This is the kind of support the black community blames Whoopi Goldberg for not giving, despite being a veteran herself. Instead, they see her as a stumbling block in their quest to break the ceiling created by white Hollywood gatekeepers. While Denzel hasn't attended The View, one of his closest industry friends recently did that, but he wasn't accorded the respect he deserves. Instead, Whoopi and co. even cut short his interview just because he was speaking against the woke ideology in Hollywood. Overall, it seems that black actors are now self-aware, shunning down shows like The View and calling out organizations that work against them. The Academy heard the passionate voices and has made steps toward progress. Whether or not we will see another Oscars so white trend, only time will tell. There is also a conversation about expanding the diversity beyond African Americans and hopes that more Latinos, Muslims, and actors of other minorities can be well represented as well. But that cannot happen if national platforms like The View keep ignoring voices that can bring about change. But as they always say, the power is with the people. And that only means one thing: the people will eventually will. And the show will eventually go down. It's only a matter of time. And that's it from us today until next time. Thank you for watching.